But now we welcome to the program Daniel Sparks. He's a senator who represents Mississippi's District 5, which incorporates Itawamba, Prentiss, and Tishomingo counties. Serves as the vice chairman of the Senate Corrections Cmte. Senator, good to see you again, sir.
Good to be here, Gerard.
All right, so you look like you pulled over on the road up there. You in your home district today?
I am actually headed to Nashville for a conference.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, appreciate you taking the time to join us today. We've been discussing the election here in the state of Mississippi. Right around the corner, the general election is upon us, November the 7th, 1 week from tomorrow. What do you think? We've noted that, of course, the top of the ticket is the marquee race, that between incumbent Republican Governor Tate Reeves and his Democratic challenger, Brandon Presley. Both are really filling up the airwaves and all the other forms of media with promoting themselves and honestly attacking their opponent. What's your gut feel at this point?
Well, I feel like the governor has done a good job over the last 4 years. A lot that he had been handed from the standpoint of COVID out of the gate, obviously some natural disasters that we didn't anticipate. And, there's a lot of that you didn't run on that platform. But yet I feel like he did a good job with the hand that he was dealt. We had big issues at the Department of Corrections. I think we're moving in the right directions there. There's several other state agencies that were in receivership or on the cusp of receivership. So I think there's a lot of good work that's been done. And I think it's the right policy. I think we're on the right path. And I think that's ultimately the question a lot of people need to ask themselves, is am I Republican? And if I am, why am I Republican? And it's generally because the policies of the Republican Party line up with what I believe more than anything else. And just because I may disagree with a particular politician on a particular issue, I need to remember that I'm a Republican.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you were around for MEC's Hobnob last week. That, I think, is the last time the candidates actually spoke to a relatively large gathering of people, and they traded barbs, which is to be expected. And they talked about, the governor likes to talk about his record, which I think is a very good one, a very positive one. I would tout that as well. He's had a number of accomplishments. As you indicated, he had to deal with lots of disasters and catastrophes, and then on top of that, COVID, which I don't know if I'd call that a disaster or a catastrophe, but it was something that he had to mobilize a lot for and had to deal with. But on the education front, which is half of the money we spend in the general fund goes to education. Wow, the report card is pretty dang good there. And on economic development, the governor has, while his term in office, he's seen significant investment in the state of Mississippi, had teachers' pay raises, had historic tax reform. Pretty good record. That's what he's touted. And here's where I'm going with this, Senator. The Democrats, on the other hand, seem to be almost entirely exclusively focused on the health care situation in the state of Mississippi. And more specifically, they're touting that simply expanding Medicaid corrects that problem, just cures that. Your thoughts?
Well, we believe that good policies lead to good results, and a lot of the things that you're pointing out, it is an increase in teacher pay. It is accountability that was put in place. It was third grade reading gate. It's great teachers being engaged in the classroom. It's trying to target money into the classroom. As other things, you secure elections. We've done a lot of things along those lines. So good policies lead to good results, which is my concern when we look and say, well, my policies don't match up with a particular candidate, but I think I'm going to vote for them, or I'm just not going to vote for the other guy whose policies I agree with. That's the odd thing that we're seeing. And I'll answer your healthcare question. I apologize. But
okay, no problem.
Sometimes we get so caught up in personality.
Yeah.
and that we don't. And I heard earlier, of course, you were laughing about the maybe the way the drawl comes out of Northeast Mississippi. Well, I've got the same drawl, so so
Oh, I find it
but
entertaining. I'm not mocking. I
oh
just
yeah,
find it
absolutely.
entertaining. Yeah,
But
I think it's
it's
great.
that folksy down home situation.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of people that I really like that don't agree with their policies.
sure.
And so, as it relates to the healthcare issue, one thing that bothers me is that the first thing that came out is this was just going to save all the rural hospitals. And it's not going to do that. And even the people who promote Medicaid expansion now acknowledge that it's not going to do it. And then we start talking about a population of people, 220,000. Well, he said 230 at MEC. I actually was there, Hobnob. And the truth is, it's probably more like 320,000, 330,000. And it's a policy that we don't particularly look at as Republicans to say, let's grow the scope of government, let's grow reliance upon government. And that's the way to economic prosperity and individual freedom. And it's simply not the answer. So, from a policy standpoint, I don't want to go down that road. But then, from a numbers standpoint, nobody's really laid it out in a manner that I think is trustworthy. And I go back to what you said earlier on your show. The fact that no one has spoken about, including the Hospital Association, that has spoken about this 150% of the poverty level being eligible for a commercial health care plan at full reimbursement for the last 2 or 3 years and through 25 shows me people are not digging into the details for good policy.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I agree with you on all points. There's no doubt about that. I think what gets lost in this discussion is this, as Rhino likes to say, the left saying this is a panacea. Just expand Medicaid, boom, problem solved. There's a healthcare economic, honestly, crisis occurring across the country, even in states which have expanded Medicaid. So clearly it's just deeper and broader than that. I personally think one of the issues is we keep inventing more care. Everybody wants it, and it costs money. And I get that because we all want to live healthy lives. We want to live as long as we possibly can. That's just human nature. And the great thing is that American innovation continues to improve healthcare, and we all want to avail ourselves to it. There's nothing wrong with that, but it costs money. How do we pay for it? That's the issue. So, but they've made this the central issue, Senator, in the campaign. Do you think that may benefit them at the polls?
I certainly think they tested it to see if it will benefit them.
Sure.
My concern, again, it goes back, I think you called the governor a policy wonk, and I think that is very accurate. He's a numbers guy, and it's a lot easier for me to stand on the street corner and yell free stuff, I've got free stuff for you, or to say, here's an opportunity for you to earn and take what you want. And, they were giving the governor a hard time, I think, on an answer he gave at MEC about people who were employed but yet could not afford health care. And you're asking a guy that question while he's walking down the hallway. They don't want to spend the 5 minutes that it takes to give that full answer. To say that through Accelerate and our community college system, we're offering training that would lead people to a greater job. We want to see, if anybody, this as a business owner, anyone who has work ethic, aptitude, effort, you're going to try to grow them within your company. I looked at McDonald's website. I used to work at Walmart as a student at Northeast. There are insurance opportunities in those companies. If you want to grow in those companies, don't besmirch the fast food industry just because those wages start at a particular level. The policy of the Republican Party is we want better jobs for more people so that they are sufficient, so they can raise their family in the way they see fit with less government intervention.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's totally accurate. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Just thought it was kind of interesting that they've sort of boiled down their focus to that. I hear nothing, and we got to go, but I hear nothing from the Presley camp about growing the economy. I don't hear anything about that. Just how to recut the pie. That's all I hear.
There is no economic plan other than to spend money of people that are wealthier than you.
That's not good. I don't support that. Appreciate you coming on, Senator. Always good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're coming right back, folks, with more in the Element Wealth Studio.